Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. In the last episode, we went from the Sultan's Zoo to the save point at the Cliffs and Waterfall, and so we're going to pick up from where we left off last time. Alright, so, looks like I'm kind of hurt a little bit. Run along this wall here, and jump onto this tree. Jump over to this other tree. I think there are some enemies up here. Yeah, there's a vulture. There are a lot of enemies in this part. This is kind of like the prince referred to it as the Sultan's Menagerie in the beginning of the section. And so the zoo was like where the actual animals were kept, but they've escaped at this point. And so the menagerie itself is like a think of a giant zoo with a lot of animals in it in different sections. And that's basically what we're in right now. So we got past the actual zoo part, but there's still mostly just animal enemies in this section because we're in basically what amounts to a giant zoo. Make sure you slide down here and grab the sand cloud. Yeah, in the last video I kind of mentioned how the relationship between Farah and the prince is really like kind of the best part of the game. And there are just a ton of little details they put into the game to make it seem more realistic, their relationship, and to really develop it. Like what happened right there where I accidentally came down the tree kind of wonkily. Is that a word? Wonkily? Anyway, I came down the tree kind of weird, and he did his little animation, was like, whoa, and like regained his balance on the edge, and you could actually hear her like gasp in the background. Just little details like that that really sell it, you know? Attention to detail is one of the best things a game developer can bring to the table, I think. Alright, more vultures here. Now your first thing, especially when your health is as low as mine, your first instinct is going to be to go to that water. But just wait for the enemies to approach you and take them all out and finish this fight first, because otherwise you're going to go to drink that water and they're just going to keep hitting you over and over again. It's not going to work out for you. And it's unfortunate that they took this out in subsequent installments, but I really enjoyed how in this one you could tell when the fight was over when the screen flashes and it shows him putting away his weapon. I kind of enjoyed that. Early trailers for the second game showed that they were going to keep it, but then in the final product and in the third one it's just not there. And it's not in the Forgotten Sands either, so I was kind of sad they took that out, because I kind of liked it. But either way, now that those enemies are dead, let's drink some water. Refill our health here. I mentioned in the last video how the audio mixing on this game is kind of weird. Like they have a tendency to make it so that the sound effects are really loud and the dialogue isn't quite as loud. So those birds make this really loud screeching noise. I have my volume turned down a little bit on my soundbar that's playing the game sound while I'm sitting here playing it. And I don't know if the mic is picking that up or not. It's not like like the iPhone headphones. Like the microphone on that is really sensitive and it picks stuff up. Even when it's like 20 feet away, it still sounds really clear. So that's not what I'm using, thankfully. But I'm not sure how sensitive this particular microphone is. Hopefully that's not getting picked up. Walk across this bridge, and there's a lever here. Let's turn this lever and see what happens. Probably just going to open that gate that we saw a little bit earlier. Yeah, it just opened up that gate. So then we're gonna go back the way we came, or... Wait, is there a shortcut over that way? Oh yeah, see. And that's... See this little thing right here? This little clump of moss, or this vine, or whatever this is? Little thing to let you know when to jump in order to hit the tree correctly. And then slide down this way, jump over here. I'm gonna run along this wall. Yeah. It's probably the best way to do it. Okay, did she already... Yeah, she already went through. Let's go in here. Okay, I think there's some scarabs. Yeah. Some scarabs in this hallway. 3 measly scarabs is all they could muster. Oh, this is the part where the music starts to get good. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. So there's a fountain here, in case you got hurt. Or in case you get hurt in this fight, like I just did. Yeah, these moves do not make any sense when you use them on scarabs, but they still work, and still actually arguably even more effective than when you use them against regular enemies. So, you know, one thing I've learned about this game's combat system, the other two have a little bit more in-depth combat system, and so those games aren't going to be as boring to watch the battles for, because this game's combat system, I learned the best and easiest way to handle it is to just find the 2 or 3 moves that are really super effective and just spam them the whole time. And it's a constant debate each time I make a video where I'm like, do I really want to show them like me sitting here fighting this group of enemies and doing the same thing over and over again on every single enemy for like 15 minutes? Or do I just want to either cut this part out entirely or just speed it up, or like what am I going to do? Because it's going to get really boring to watch this if I'm just sitting here doing this same move over and over again, but it's really like the fastest and most effective way to do it. Okay, so here's a fight right here. This is the beginning of like the baths, I guess you could call them. And so the enemies you fight in here, there's the new enemy type. You still you're fighting the girls in red, the harem girls are, we've already fought them. The new enemies, the other guys you see walking around there with like half a head of hair and barely wearing anything, were former slaves, and they've got chains for weapons. And I don't think there's anything particularly nothing particularly stands out about them. They don't have anything special, but we'll find out.
Bats.
Alright, let's do this. Yeah, you can just use the standard tactic on these guys. I think what I'm going to do is, if it's enemies I've fought before and I've already explained the tactics for them, I'm going to speed up or cut out that section of the video when there's a fight, but when there's new enemies, I'll show the new tactics for defeating them, and then I'll speed up the rest of it or whatever. So yeah, remember with the harem girls in red, the normal vault retrieval doesn't work, so you have to do the double attack that just drops them, because they block the vault retrieval. Is there another wave? Yeah, there's another wave. And remember how the fight is not over until it shows him putting away his weapons. So if all the enemies seem to be gone, but he hasn't done that yet, there's going to be another wave, even if they make you wait for it. And I mean, the fights really can get long in this game. Like, they can be 15-20 minutes. Like, I'm not even kidding. The amount of waves they start throwing at you later in the game, like, you're just going to be sitting here doing this for a long amount of time. Let's kill this guy. Or not. That's a problem I had with the AI in pretty much every game where you have a partner that is AI controlled, is they get in the way. Like I was playing The Last of Us, as I mentioned in my previous video, the last part. I was playing The Last of Us, and my only complaint with that game... Well, I have a few complaints, it's not my only complaint, that's not accurate. But, one of my major complaints with that game is that the AI partners just get in the way all the time, and it's really annoying. It happened in this game just now, too. Yeah, and you gotta watch out for the harem girls when they do that little spinny attack, because you saw how much health that took off. I got, like, it surprised me a little bit. It didn't surprise me enough for me to cut off my sentence, like, and remark on it until after I was done, but that was still like, whoa. I didn't even know they could do that. Alright, let's go in here, and I'm gonna heal before I save.
That's not how it happened.
What? What? Okay. Well, whatever. I guess we're gonna do that fight again. Whatever. Who gives a crap? Maybe I'll be able to do it a little bit better this time then. Hopefully that isn't a recurring glitch. It would kind of suck if I got this far and then it turns out there's that glitch there that just insta-fails you all the time. Yeah. So maybe I'll just... dang it. See, I was trying to avoid doing stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think I've actually shown you guys that move before. If you stab them with a dagger and you have power tanks and it freezes them, you can just straight up cut them in half, take them out entirely. But of course that robs you of the opportunity to retrieve them to get more sands from them like that. Okay. Now, let's try this again. Hopefully, the same thing does not happen twice. In fact, you know what? I'm going to save first. Alright, so let's put it in the same slot as before.
I'm alright.
Well, let's see if I can heal. Alright. So I think this is the first real puzzle section of the game that you have to do, if you could call it that. Actually, no. The elevator was the first real one. This is the first puzzle platforming?
No,
Sort of, anyway. Alright, so in order to keep this plate pressed down, we're going to have to grab this and move it on top of the pressure plate. Alright. And then this is going to be a little trapped hallway. Nope, I didn't want that to happen, but I didn't react fast enough. Alright, so let's... Can't do that. So run up this wall and jump across. And do this. Okay, and then you're going to do the wall jump back and forth. And you're going to do it again. And now we're going to have one more fight.
I'm up here.
And then the save point that's after this fight, I'm going to end it and start a separate video. Because this is actually going to be a big puzzle section. And so, I'm going to save that for another video. And as you can see, new sword there. Ultimately, that's what we're going to get at the end of this big section with the fight and the puzzle. At the very end, we're going to get a new sword. The first sword upgrade. The second sword, as I generally tend to call it. I'm not exactly creative. But, then again, it's kind of hard to be creative with the swords in this game. Like, what are you going to name them? When it comes to naming things, I like to be creative, but you can't really do with the weapons in this game. Okay, and wave 2. Here we go. No, please move, thank you. No. Come on, work with me here. Because Farrah broke her guard with the arrow, and she hadn't recovered yet. Alright, there we go. Let's see into that fight.
There's something glowing. I saw it from the ledge.
Alright, so let's heal. Will it let me heal here? Yes. And let's save. Yep. The baths.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
Alright, and so that concludes this part.
Shall I go on?
Tune in next time where we will continue this section, finish the puzzle, and get our new sword.